Hello everyone and welcome to the Jefferson College Spotlight. I'm your host Roger Barentine, and of course this is a program that talks about interesting programs, information and events that deal with Jefferson College. Today we're talking about a very exciting and new program here at Jefferson in the interesting field of nursing, as it's part of a brand new healthcare program that's designed for folks in the nursing program to pursue a Bachelor of Nursing and a Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree from Central Methodist University. With that, joining me this afternoon is Heather Weber. She's the Assistant Dean at Central Methodist University's Adult Degree Program, and Laura Molman, who is the Central Methodist Regional Coordinator. Thank you both, and welcome to the Jefferson College Spotlight.
Thank you much. We're very glad to be here.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Heather, let me start with you. Let's talk a little bit for those who may be watching and are not familiar in terms of Central Methodist University, or particularly their operations across the state. Tell us a little bit about the colleges and university's background and the things that they're doing across Missouri.
Absolutely. Glad to do it. Central Methodist was founded in 1854, so the institution's been around in Missouri for a very long time. One of the oldest institutions in the state. We are located in Fayette, Missouri, which is about 20 miles north of Columbia, right in the center of the state. If you went to the main campus, you'd find a very traditional campus, beautiful, residential, about 1,100 students that attend classes there. Students enjoy a lot of great co-curricular opportunities, fantastic sports programs, and a well-respected music program. But particularly what I want to talk about today is our opportunities outside of the city of Fayette. Our College of Graduate and Extended Studies, back in 1989, started partnering, particularly with the community colleges across the state. Our first partner was actually Mineral Area College in Park Hills. So we've been doing this for over 25 years. We have partnerships now with all of the community colleges across the state of Missouri, and with many of those we teach on their campuses. We're at, as I said, Park Hills, we're in Poplar Bluff, we're at Union, we're at St. Charles, Moberly, Sedalia, to name, and others, but basically all across the state, offering opportunities for community members to continue to take classes and work toward their bachelor's degrees without having to travel, make it convenient and accessible for them. So we're excited to now be partnering with Jefferson College and be right here in this area.
As we are as well. You mentioned the fact that the programs have been going on since 1989. Obviously, you've gotten this down in terms of working with community colleges. That must be exciting in terms of laying that groundwork and, again, having that excellence at this point in truly knowing the ins and outs of how those programs work.
It's a very exciting thing. We're glad to do it. And the really fun thing, I said we have about 1,100 students on our main campus. When you look at all the students who take classes all across the state, we have over 5,000 students that are enrolled overall at Central Methodist. And I should also mention that we are regionally accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, which is important for students to know, because that means if they take classes with us, those credits will transfer wherever they go or move on with them toward their graduate degrees. They're well respected across the state.
And obviously with that accrediting body, Jefferson is as well. And so it does make for a very comfortable situation where students know not only is the quality of education there, but certainly being accredited from a national accrediting agency makes it all that more important.
Absolutely.
Well, having that as a little bit of an icebreaker, tell us a little bit more detail about the RN, BSN program, and particularly CMU's history teaching in the nursing field.
You bet. Central Methodist has a full nursing program in Fayette, so that would be designed for students who want to become a nurse. But this program that we're offering at Jefferson College and the other partners that we have across the state is an RN to BSN. So that's designed for a nurse who has already gotten an associate's degree or a diploma and is an RN, and now they want to go on to get that bachelor's degree for job security, promotion opportunities, things of that nature. What we do is basically allow the students to stay right here at Jefferson College, and they are able to enroll and take their classes here and not have to travel to do that. We started talking with Jefferson College about a year ago. As you know, we were involved in lots of meetings discussing those opportunities and how we could best serve this community. And the decision was that there are not a lot of on-ground opportunities for nurses to get a Bachelor of Science in nursing in this area. There are some online options, but not so many on-ground. And so we knew that was a niche we could fill and a service we could provide to this community. So we started our first cohort of nurses actually at the Arnold location in January. Those nurses are doing great, working toward their bachelor's degree, and we're working on getting a group started in January right here at Hillsborough, so that, again, nurses that are working in the area,
opportunities,
you bet, can do it close to home.
Having said that, my mother was a nurse for a number of years, was a registered nurse. It seems to me that the field of nursing really has changed in terms of that BSN becoming a requirement in most all of those healthcare settings. Can you speak a little bit about how that's changed over the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 years?
You bet. You know, you don't have to look too far to realize that the climate of healthcare is changing all over. But for hospitals in particular, it's also changing on the inside. And many of the hospitals are being encouraged by federal mandates to improve the education levels of their nurses. There are studies that show that the better educated the nursing staff is, the better patient quality is available in the hospitals. And so many of the hospitals have taken upon themselves to work toward having at least 80% of their nursing staff to have a BSN by the time 2020 rolls around. So that's not a lot of years for us to do that. And it's a lot of nurses that need to do that so that they can have the job security and the advancement potential in the hospitals. So this is basically why this program is so popular. The really great thing for nurses is that many of the hospitals are putting money behind that. So they're offering tuition reimbursement, tuition benefits to their nurses so that they can go back to school without a huge financial commitment on their part to do that. And hospitals in the area like Mercy Jefferson, St. Anthony's Medical Center, St. Clair, and Fenton, we partner with those three among other hospitals in the area so that the students can go to school and the hospitals will help pay for that education for them to get their BSNs.
You can't beat those kinds of deals.
You bet.
They're very nice.
It's wonderful for the nurses. It's wonderful for the community. It's a win-win all the way around.
You bet. Heather, tell us a little bit more in terms of the uniqueness of the partnership in terms of what you're doing here specifically at Jefferson College.
You bet, absolutely. I think the exciting thing is that we have a very great transfer program set up with Jefferson College so that students who get their associate's degree here know that they can transfer with ease to Central Methodist. And I brought with me, as you mentioned, Laura Molman today. Laura's our region coordinator. Her office is actually at the Arnold location. So she's here to work with students every day who have questions about the program. Once they get started, she kind of guides them through the entirety of the program. And so she might be able to speak to you a little bit about how the program is put together and how she works with those nurses who make that transition.
Terrific. And I would assume, Laura, as we look at this, not only, you're really working with two different groups. Existing Jefferson College students who are working their way through that nursing program, and those who are currently practicing in the field. And so tell us a little bit more in terms of how the program works, particularly in light of both of those two populations.
Sure. Well, students take class one night a week and one class at a time. And typically it's from 6 to 10 p.m., so after shifts or before an evening shift may start. Right. And that one night a week remains consistent throughout the entire program so that they can plan other family activities or work schedules around their school commitments. And then in addition to the one night a week that they are in class, the students form learning teams, and they work with these learning teams outside of class on big projects or presentations. And a lot of times these learning teams will be formed from people they already know through their RN program or people that they're currently working with. So that way that's a good support system for them through this program. Through the agreement with CMU and Jefferson College, it allows, again, for that ease of transfer from the RN program to the BSN program. And after transferring in all of the RN credits, it usually takes just under 2 years for a nursing student to complete their BSN. And again, that's taking one class at a time, one night a week.
It seems like that process doesn't really overwhelm an individual. I mean,
it really shouldn't.
They're dealing with full-time work, they're dealing with family. I mean, many other things are probably on individuals' plates where you look at that and go, oh my gosh, only one class? But really, it seems like an individual to pace themselves and be successful in that.
Right. It was set up so that a working individual or even somebody that's just right out of school who plans on working can do this program with ease.
Now, you mentioned one night a week. Does that night, for say, it might be a Tuesday night, does that stay consistent, or sometimes you'll have a group that's a Tuesday night, a next group might be a Thursday night, or does that stay consistent? And then as well, what typically are the meeting times?
Sure. It does fluctuate from group to group depending on what the group's needs are. So we kind of take a poll, and the majority of people, if they want a Tuesday night, then classes will be on Tuesday night. If they want it on a Wednesday night, it will be on a Wednesday night. And the times are almost always 6 to 10 p.m. for the classes.
Very well.
Yeah.
Heather, if I'm in the field of nursing and I've been in it for 5, 10 years. Why would I, as a working professional, want to earn a bachelor's degree at this point if I'm a registered nurse?
Absolutely. Well, I think if they speak to folks in their HR departments or they look at the climate of healthcare, they're going to find that you can get started with a nursing degree, associate's degree in that field. So you can work in that field and do pretty well for a while. But after a while, if you want to move up into management, you want to have other opportunities for doing a variety of things within the nursing field, a bachelor's degree becomes a necessity. So I think for opportunities, for security, for advancement, all those things kind of indicate that a bachelor's degree is a great idea. And that's why we encourage those nursing students who are taking classes and finishing up their associate's degree here at Jefferson College to just keep right on going. Before life gets in the way and other things start to inhibit that ability to do it, just keep going and finish that bachelor's degree so that you have that. The really exciting thing for us is we often see nurses who get the bachelor's degree and then they move on to get their master's, and then they may start teaching in the field so that they can kind of give back and,
Sure.
and complete that full circle, which is really cool.
That's very nice. Heather, or Laura, I should say, I know in the day and age that we live in, you probably have folks come into the office every day, and one of the first questions I would assume that they're looking at is how much will this program cost? You know, in the times we live in, even here at a community college setting, oftentimes folks have become very, very astute in terms of comparing the cost of education at one institution versus another. So having said that, what is someone looking at in terms of being introduced to the CMU program and the costs that are associated?
Absolutely, and I encourage people to compare costs and look into it. I'm very confident in the costs that CMU does have. CMU is committed to keeping the educational costs as affordable as possible for students. We started this program here in St. Louis in 2010, and our tuition rates have not raised since then. Our tuition cost is $325 per credit hour, which is among the least expensive credit hour in the area. Also, we do not add a lot of additional fees on top of that $325 base rate. So we don't have any technology fees or distance fees in addition to that $325.
So really what you see is pretty much what you're going to get.
Right, exactly. And you know, we do, a lot of our students are eligible for state and federal financial aid and some grants. So we do have a financial aid counselor who will be more than happy to walk through that process with any of the students as well.
Great, very good. Well, this has been a very exciting interview today, a lot of information. I can tell by the excitement in both of your voices that there's some great things going on in terms of this. I think probably the most appropriate way to end our discussion today is to let folks know how do they begin? Where do they go in terms of getting information and being ready to go into the CMU Jefferson College program?
They can certainly contact me at any time, but the best first step is to go to CMU's website at centralmethodist.edu/St. Louis.
Okay.
They can fill out an online application there. It is free. Or anybody can contact me at the Jefferson Arnold location, and I can send a paper application. My phone number there at Jefferson Arnold is 636-481-3592.
Okay.
And once we receive a completed application and all of a student's previous transcripts, I can make a degree plan for that student and then go through that entire degree plan with them and let them know what they can expect and what their calendar will look like. And I would be their advisor throughout the entire program.
That's terrific. One final question, and it certainly wasn't something we had prepared for today, but when you talk with students and they come to the Central Methodist program, what kinds of things do they tell you in terms of how proud they are, what they're doing in terms of meeting their life goals in education? What kinds of feedback do you hear from these students?
That's actually a great question. It is one of the most satisfying parts of our job. I think you don't work in education to get rich, for sure. We work in education because we know we're helping others, and the cool thing is there's a ripple effect to that. So we have seen students who have graduated from our program, nurses among them, who show an example to their children that education is important and that you're never too old to go back to school. It's a lifelong process. Lifelong learning is important, and it makes a huge difference. Our graduation ceremonies are tear-jerking for me. I cry every year because it's such an exciting thing for these adults to finally accomplish that goal, and they bring their parents and their coworkers and their friends and their children and all grandchildren. You never know who's going to be there, and lots of hoops and hollers in the audience.
Oh, very good. Well, Laura, Heather, I appreciate the visit today, and again, some terrific information. We're glad that you're a partner with Jefferson College, and we look forward to many, many years of success.
Thank you.
Thank
Same
you
here.
so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Again, some terrific information and news about for folks in the nursing program, how they can move toward a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing through Central Methodist University. Again, this has been your host, Roger Barentine. It's been a pleasure to bring you this information. And again, you'll note those phone numbers and websites that were mentioned earlier if you would like to, or if you know of someone else who would like to get more information about this new program. Well, that will do it for this edition of the Jefferson College Spotlight. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you right here next time on JCTV.